Hello everyone, my name is Annisa Sulistiawati and today I want to review my article. Okay, this content of the review is the first is content of the article. It contains proposed methodology, finding, and the benefit for the leaders for the second. And the third is strength, weaknesses of article. And the last is connection between those article for those 10 article. And then we move to the first article. The title is The Impact of Cooperative Learning Approach on the Development of EFL Learners Speaking Fluency by Ahsana Maziandos, Mina Homayomi, and Pegah Rahmani. Okay, the purpose of this article is the study aimed to examine how the use of cooperative learning strategies affect EFL learners speaking fluency in a classroom setting. And method, the researchers conducted a quasi-experimental study using pre-test and post-test with control and experimental groups to assess the development of speaking fluency. And the finding is, results show that students in the experimental group who experienced cooperative learning showed significant improvement in fluency compared to the control group. This method encourages collaboration, interaction, and confidence among learners. And the benefits of this article is, the study provides practical teaching strategies that are student-centered and beneficial for enhancing speaking skills, particularly fluency. And the strength is the use of quantitative data to support the arguments strengthens the study, and a comparison with traditional methods offer a clear perspective on the benefit of cooperative learning. And the weaknesses of this article is, the context is limited to Iranian learners, which may limit the generalizability of the results. Additionally, the long-term impact of this method was not explored yet. Okay, we move to the second article. The title is If Our English Isn't a Language, What is it? Indonesian EFL student teachers challenges speaking English by Mukhlas Abrar, Amirul Mukminin, Ahmad Habibi, Fadul Ashrafi, Makmur, and Leni Marzulina. The purpose of this article is, this article explores the challenges faced by Indonesian EFL student teachers when speaking English, especially in academic and classroom settings. And the method, the study employed a qualitative approach using interview and focus group discussions to collect data from student teachers. And the finding, the study is identified several recurring issues such as low confidence, fear of judgment, and a limited exposure to English in everyday life. These factors are closely linked to students' sociocultural and educational backgrounds. And the benefits of this article is, this research highlights deeply rooted socio-cultural barriers in speaking performance and is especially useful for teacher training program and curriculum design. And the strength is, this article presents authentic student voice and highlights important sociolinguistic dimensions that influence speaking ability. The weakness is, since this study is highly context-specific to Indonesia, it lacks universal applicability and doesn't offer a tested solution to the identified challenges. Okay, the next article, a study of students' perception, identifying EFL learners' problems in speaking skill by Ikrar Genidal Rialdil. And the purpose of this article is, the aim of the study was to identify students' perceptions regarding the speaking difficulties they commonly face. And the method is, this research used a descriptive survey method through questionnaires given to EFL students. The finding revealed that many students struggle with grammar, fluency, vocabulary, and fear of making mistakes, all of which hinder their speaking performance. Benefits of this article is, the study offers a clear overview of common student concerns that can help educators adjust their teaching strategies. And the strength, with a relatively large number of participants, the research reflects a broad student perspective. The weaknesses, the data lacks qualitative depth and doesn't provide strategies or interventions to address the problem identified. The next article is EFL Students' Challenges and Strategies in Speaking English by Rosalia Inggit Herlina, Lestari Sidik Indra Nugraha. The purpose of this article is, the study explores not only the challenges EFL learners face in speaking English, but also the strategies they use to overcome these difficulties. The method, A qualitative case study approach was used involving interviews with EFL students. The findings: the student reported anxiety, limited vocabulary, and fear of peer judgment as their main obstacles. However, they also shared helpful strategies like self-practice, watching English media, and participating in group discussion. And the benefits of this article provides a balanced view by highlighting both the problems and the learner's proactive efforts to address him. And the strength, it focuses on practical solutions derived from real student experience. The weaknesses, due to the small sample size and limited scope, these strategies might not be applicable to broader contexts, and the effectiveness of these strategies was not tested. The next article: Investigating English Department Students' Foreign Language Speaking Anxiety, a case study in Universitas Airlangga, Indonesia, by Dias Intan Rachmawati and Jurianto. The purpose of this article: the research focuses on identifying the levels and causes of foreign language speaking anxiety among university students in Indonesia, and the method they use is the study used a case study approach combining questionnaires and interview to gain comprehensive insight. The findings: it found that most students experience high anxiety primarily due to fear of mistakes, peer judgment, and performance pressure in formal settings. And the benefits is the study draws attention to the psychological factors that hinder speaking performance, which is crucial for creating supportive classroom environments. The strength: the use of mixed instrument adds depth to the finding, and the focus on emotional factors is valuable. But the weaknesses is the study is limited to a single institution and doesn't provide in-depth interventions or long-term follow-ups. The next article: Exploring EFL Graduate Students' Perspective and Strategies to Improve English Speaking Skills by Janet Trecia Di Moranto and Barley Brown. The purpose: the study explored the strategies and reflections of graduate students in improving their English speaking ability. The method they used: the researchers conducted qualitative interviews with selected EFL graduate students, and the findings: the students mentioned various strategies such as listening to English media, engaging in peer discussion, and correcting their own mistakes as effective ways to improve. They also emphasize the importance of consistent practice, guys. And the benefit is the study gave insight into learner autonomy and the kinds of strategies that more experienced learners use. The strength: it showcases real student experiences and promotes a self-regulated learning approach. And the weaknesses is the participant group is small and the finding may not apply to undergraduate or less experienced students. And the next article is Emotional Intelligence Enhancement Impacts on Developing Speaking Skill Among EFL Learners, an empirical study by Muhammad Reza Ibrahimi, Hushang Kushsima, Ismail Zare Behtash, and Tahereh Haydarnejad. And the purpose of this article is the study aims to determine whether enhancing emotional intelligence can positively impact speaking skill development among EFL learners. The method: an empirical study was conducted with an experimental and a control group, assessing their speaking skills before and after emotional intelligence training. The findings: the study showed that students who received training exhibited increased confidence, lower anxiety, and improved speaking performance. The benefits of this article offers a new and holistic perspective by integrating emotional development with language learning, but it has also the strength: it provides strong empirical and evidence and highlights the connection between emotional well-being and academic performance. However, it has the weaknesses. The cultural context might limit its applicability in different regions, and some assessment tools were not described in detail. The next article, you have a learner's attitude towards the improvement of their English speaking performance by Siti Mahripah. The purpose of this article, this research investigates how learners' attitudes affect their English speaking performance and learning outcomes. Method, a descriptive study was carried out using questionnaires. The findings, this research indicate students with positive attitudes were more motivated and made better progress in speaking, while those with negative attitudes improve more slowly. And the benefits, the article emphasized the importance of fostering a positive learning environment and mindset. The strength, it offers valuable insight into the effective domain of language learning, which is often overlooked. But the weaknesses, the reliance of self-reported data could affect reliability, and the study doesn't explore actual classroom interventions. The next article, implementation of flipped classroom model and its effectiveness on English speaking performance by Muhammad Yahya Abdullah, Sufyan Hussein, and Kamboja Ismail. The purpose of this article examines how using a flipped classroom model impacts students' English speaking performance. Method, a mixed method study was conducted involving a classroom experiment and student feedback through interviews. The finding is the flipped classroom model allowed students to be more autonomous and confident in speaking text. Learning material studied at home help optimize in-class speaking practice. The benefits, the study promotes modern touch integrated learning that empowers students and enhance classroom management. The strength, the use of both qualitative and quantitative data strength, the validity of the study. The weaknesses, the model requires good infrastructure and teacher training, which may not be available in all contexts. The next, enhancing the development of speaking skills for non-native speakers of English by Kamon Pan Bun Kit. The purpose of this article aims to suggest effective strategies for teaching speaking to non-native English speakers. The method, the author used a combination of literature review, classroom experience, and observation. The findings, text-based activity, frequent speaking opportunities, peer collaboration, and instructor feedback were found to be effective in enhancing speaking skills. The benefits of this article, the article provides practical guidance for teachers and offers adaptable technique for various classroom settings. The strengths, the content is grounded in classroom experience, making the suggestion highly applicable. The weaknesses, the article lacks empirical research data and relies heavily on observational and prescriptive approaches. Okay, the last is connection of all articles talking about. All 10 articles agree that speaking is the most challenging skill in learning, influenced by both internal and external factors. And the second is several studies like Namazianos et al., Ibrahim et al., Abdullah et al. Highlight the positive impact of innovative methods such as cooperative learning, emotional intelligence training, and flipped classroom on learners' speaking fluency and confidence. The third is articles by Abra et al., Rahmati and Jurianto, and Maripa focus on psychological barriers, including anxiety, fear of making mistakes, low confidence, and negative self-perception. Meanwhile, Riadul and Bunkit explore student perception and emphasize the importance of text-based activity, repetition, and classroom feedback in improving speaking skills. But Lestari and Nugraha and Limeranto Ambram show how self-directed strategies like self-practice, watching media, and pre-interaction can empower learners to manage their own progress. And together, the studies promote a holistic, learner-centered approach that combines good pedagogy, emotional awareness, and consistent speaking practice. The overall takeaway is that effective speaking development in AFL requires not just grammar instruction, but supportive learning environments, student motivation, and creative teaching strategies. Okay, maybe that is all I can talk about. I'm sorry if there is so much mistake. And thank you. Bye-bye.